Hi class, so today we're going to continue Flappy Bird and we're going to get a little animation happening, maybe make the canvas a little bit bigger, maybe make it so we can flap around a little. Although that might be a little ambitious for the 10 to 15 minutes that we have for this lesson. But we'll definitely attack some of these, so let's get started. So one of the things that we need to do is we need to have an update function because we need to as the game plays, we need it to be doing stuff continuously. If there's no user input, the bird's still going to fall to the ground because gravity's always working. And so we're going to write a function, we're going to call it update. And that is going to just draw the bird to start at x comma y, and we're just going to say 30 comma 50 for right this second. And then what we want to do is we're going to take out the draw bird up here, and we are going to call, we're going to set, it's called set interval. I'm going to say set interval, and we name our function update, and we say how often we want to update our screen. And if we say 1,000, that's once every second. Now, once every second is not that fast. This would be once every 10th of a second, once every 100th of a second. And at that rate, like can the browser keep up? And I think 10 is a good number here. 10, 1, it's going to be kind of the same thing. So we're going to be updating the screen pretty rapidly, and we're just going to keep drawing the bird over and over again. That's pretty good at this point. But then we don't want the bird to just sit there, so we're going to move the bird. So we're going to make another function called move bird. And at this point, I think I'd like to make a bird object, just something that keeps track of our bird, like where he exists and all of that. So we're going to make a global variable. Global variables are nice at the top. We're going to call it bird. And this is just going to be a collection of variables. So it's going to have an x position, and we'll just start it at 30 because that's where our original bird is. And when we make a collection, we don't put an equal sign, we put a colon, and then we put a comma because it's like a list of variables. And so it's going to have a y position. We'll give it 50. And then it should have a velocity. And so we'll call that Vx. And that's going to be 0 to start, and Vy will be 0 to start as well. We could give it a size if we want to, so then we can make the bird bigger and smaller. And we'll give that like 20. What else could be needed? I think that might be enough. And so we can leave it at that. So this is our bird object, which is just storing some things about our bird. And so now in the draw bird function, we're not going to pass 30 and 50. We're going to change this. We're going to just pass in our bird. And so instead of x and y, I'm going to say bird up here because now it's drawing a circle at position bird.x, bird.y. And so instead of x and y, we have to say that we're looking at our bird variable and we're looking at the x component of our bird variable and the y component. And now instead of a default radius, we're going to say bird.size. And so that's going to be drawing our bird now. We also want to move the bird. And we're going to make another variable. I'm going to call it gravity. And we're just going to make that 1. And that it's not 9.8 because we're measuring pixels per hundredth of a second, not meters per second squared. It's pixels per hundredth of a second squared. So it's going to be a very different number than what we would have in a physics classroom if you're taking physics. But then move bird is going to say bird dot x position equals the bird's dot x position plus the bird's velocity. And then the bird dot y's position equals the bird dot y's position plus its velocity in the y direction. But then we're going to have the bird dot vy equals bird dot vy plus gravity. Because that's going to be the only force that's always pulling on our bird. And and when we call move bird, we have to give it a bird as the argument. And in our update function, we're not just going to draw the bird. We're also going to move the bird. So we're going to say move bird, draw bird, move bird, draw bird. And let's see what we got here. Okay, so we don't see anything, and there might be an error, or yeah, I'm not seeing an error. So let's check this out. So we're calling set interval update 10. I want a console log, and let's print out our bird each time. And we have x is not a number, so doing something silly in there. And y is completely changing all the time. So let's see what's going on here. Our bird starts off with an x of 30 and a vx of 0. What did I do wrong here? Oops. I want to see what the first x is. So x started at 30, y started at 50, the vx is 0 and vy is 0, and then x goes to not a number right away. So that's because I have bird x equals bird x plus bird vw. That was a typo, so we want vx, not vw. I should hopefully fix this, and boom, it just drops right off the bottom of the screen. That's exactly what we wanted. I'm going to slow down so we can do 1 frame every second so we can watch what's happening a little bit more. And we got the bird, and he starts dropping, and it'll drop a little faster and faster. Now, once per second is going to be way too slow. You can see that he's dropping. Now, you can say, wait, but we need to erase what's going on. So we can draw the background box if we want. I don't want to go too long on this video, but we can make another function called draw background. And what that can do is that's just going to, right now, we can draw like a blue box across our entire canvas. Right now the canvas is colored based on our CSS. But I'd like to make it so it's being colored by our JavaScript. So we're going to get our canvas, and I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to copy when we got the canvas up here. And so we're getting our play space. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say ctx dot clear rect. And we're going to say, get rid of 0, 0. And then our canvas has a width and a height. And our canvas is C, so we can just say C dot width and C dot height. And that will clear our canvas when we call draw background. So now when we update our function, we don't want to just move the bird and draw the bird. We want to move the bird, draw the background, which is just right now just clearing out the background, and then draw the bird. And let's see what happens. We got that. And now it's going to look like the bird's moving. Just going to come up here and do the set update. Let's do it every 1/10 of a second. If we do it too fast, you're not going to see what's happening. So, and you see the bird just kind of drop off the bottom of the screen. Our next video, we are going to make it so we can fly the bird back up, and that would be our first event handler. Yeah, so we are almost going to have flight, and next video we'll have some flight.